Welcome to Roger Williams University. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Michael Ventura, and I'm a junior. I graduated in 2015, and I study finance here at Roger Williams.
My name is Evan Beck. I'm a sophomore this year. Graduate class of 2016. I'm a marketing psychology major.
Something that I love about this university is the opportunities that the school provides students to take what they've learned in the classroom and apply it to a real world situation. Whether it's our CPC Community Connections partnership, where we help local charities and other community partnerships, activities and programs throughout the Bristol and Rhode Island area in order to make a benefit to the community, or whether it's in our campus where we have clubs, organizations. We also have programs within each school that provide students to take what they've learned in the classroom and apply it in a real world situation. So when you are interviewing for an internship or a job, you can talk about what you've done to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, Mike really covered a lot of good stuff there. Also, other things that I love about the campus that we have here. The location is gorgeous. There's a lot going for it here. Bristol, the little town right next door to us, is a lot of fun to be in. Very homely. Also, the food here is fantastic. I'm sure we'll get into that. And then the class sizes are incredible. It really makes you feel welcome.
And jumping off class sizes, the average class size at Roger Williams is about 19 students, and they're normally capped at about 28. And it's a 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio, so it really gives a good personalization and a great learning experience where professors will know your name, and professors are there to help you. A lot of the professors here have experience or are currently in the industry that they're teaching. An example is I have a risk management and insurance professor, and he pretty much knows every CEO in the state of Rhode Island because he worked in marketing and sales at Blue Cross Blue Shield Rhode Island, so he partnered with all of these different businesses.
Do you want to cover some of the residence halls? Talk about as an incoming freshman. There are 8 total residence halls on campus, but as a freshman, you're offered, if living on campus, you're offered 4: Maple, Cedar, Stonewall, and Willow. And if you've had a chance to visit campus, they're all beautiful residence halls. They all have different styles. I mean, I don't know if you know any specifics, but they're all great places to live there.
We have traditional residence halls such as Cedar Hall, which is like a long hallway and a great college experience where you can really meet a lot of people. We also have smaller residence halls that have about 26 students per unit. So you have a more quieter and homely feeling. So whatever suits you best, we definitely have at Roger Williams. And a new program that was launched last year is the Living Learning Communities. And a little bit about that is it partners students with similar interests to live in the same residence hall. And along with that, there's also a faculty advisor within that similar interest to guide the living learning community to do projects or work in groups and study, etc. And the RA is also in that field. Sometimes it's majors, other times they have other LLCs as well.
Awesome. Yeah, no, definitely. As a freshman just last year, my experience was incredible. Kind of moving in, and I was welcome immediately. So I had a great experience there. What else?
What do you think of campus life? Like, what do you do on the weekends, Evan?
What do I do on the weekends? I think that one thing the campus has really got going for it is, I mean, whatever you're looking for, you'll find it. Definitely here at Roger Williams. I know one thing that we have really cool is there are a lot of clubs and orgs on campus, so there are always a lot of events to go to. It's not rare that there will be a comedian coming on campus, magician, something different to kind of spice up the nightlife here as well. What about you?
Yeah, Roger After Dark is a great program that I love going to, and they have free food, they have fun activities, you name it. And then my personal favorite is the improv show. I had so much fun at the improv show. One of the improv guys pulled me on stage, and I started improving with them. So I had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you want to talk more about clubs and orgs and some of the kind of different things you can do?
Mm-hmm. The clubs that I do on campus, currently I'm a part of Habitat for Humanity, and in Habitat for Humanity we have traveled close across the nation. We've gone to Tutwiler, Mississippi, Manistee, Michigan, Birmingham, Alabama, as well as southern New Jersey. 4 great trips. We bring anywhere from 15 to 20 students, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's great to really make a difference in the community. We also help in the local area with a new house that will be coming up in Bristol, as well as builds in Providence.
Yeah, and I do a few things too on campus. I'm involved in ICC, or the Interclass Council, and it's very similar to like a student council at any of your high schools, where you would have like a class president, vice president, so on and so forth. And we program events for different students on campus based on their class. So the freshman class officers would program for the freshmen. That's kind of how that works. I'm also a resident assistant on campus, so I'm an RA. I'm going to be in Cedar Hall next year with the freshmen, which I'm really excited about. Get to see hopefully some of you. And so I do that as well, amongst a whole bunch of other little things. So yeah.
Another thing about the school is the athletics here. We are a Division III school, which allows students to put their academics first, and then the athletics, so you'll never miss class or practice, and class is very important. But you may have to miss class for a game. So, but the professors are very understanding of that, and they do love the student athletes. And a lot of the statistics show that our student athletes have higher GPAs than our non-student athletes.
That's pretty cool too. You want to talk about what else is great about campus? You want to talk about the commons? Kind of the variety there.
Commons, we have so much you can choose from on a daily basis. Everything's fresh to order, and it's also the reason why our dining hall is one of the tops in the nation. If you don't believe me, feel free to Google it.
Yeah.
Is because the food that we have is organic food, and it's also bought locally, which means that the produce is fresher longer because it's not traveling longer distances. And also, our caterer Bon Appetit has standards. And if a certain food does not meet the standard, it's not allowed to be served here. And an example is we used to have a Quiznos on campus, but the Quiznos meats, their deli meats, didn't meet the expectation of Bon Appetit. So they ripped it out and they put their new deli in, which has their Boarheads meats that does meet their expectations. A lot of meat.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, definitely one of the best parts about being on campus is being able to go to the commons. Is definitely become a bit of a hangout spot. You get to see everybody there. It's really social, and yeah, the food is fantastic. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of variety, too.
There's also options for anyone who's vegetarian, vegan, or have any other dietary or allergy needs. And there is a private chef that can cook for those students on a separate cooktop or stove or oven, whatever it may be. So that's a great part about a smaller school where we have 3,735 students and about 1,000 students per grade, is that there's a great aspect of personalization, but it's also large enough, and we have so many different majors, 43 different majors, 40 different minors, and 13 different graduate programs, that there's so much going on that you won't know all those 1,000 students in your grade, just because you're not going to see them every day. They're probably doing different things, but it is a great school where you're going to have your good circle of friends, but it's also large enough where there's going to be a lot of students that, and even as a junior, I still don't know some students in my grade, which is a good, not too big but not too small field.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. I mean, yeah, as a second semester sophomore now, I've been here for almost 2 years. I'm still meeting kids in my grade, which is nice because your class sizes are small. It's easy to develop solid friend groups and get involved. You're not just a number. You're really a student here, and that's one thing that makes it so great. But at the same time, you're meeting new people all of the time, which is great too.
Should we open up the floor for questions?
Yeah.
Great. We have a question about study abroad opportunities.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
You want to tell you?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, you probably know more of the facts about it as well, but I know that I have a lot of friends. Typically, you'll typically go abroad your junior year. I do have a few friends that are going abroad. They're going to be sophomores, so there's opportunities to study abroad as a sophomore. And there are places all over the world that you can go to as far as specifics.
And I'll add on to that. We do have affiliates with 26 different schools, but you're not restricted to those 26 different schools. The motto of the study abroad office is that the quicker you go in and the quicker you decide you want to go abroad and the more time you give the office, the more time they have to plan your trip and really make it perfect. So, um, do you want a smaller school? Do you like that Roger Williams feel? Is that what you want abroad, or do you kind of want to change it up and sit in a 500 person lecture? Maybe you might want to change it up. Maybe you want to do a tour around Europe. Is that possible? When's your spring break? Are the residence halls safe there? Is the area safe? Will the credits transfer? So they can really get you anywhere, and they will do the research. And if you have above a 3.0, the university will pay for your passport. But some students will study abroad for a semester. Some students will go for a year.
Yeah.
Other students might do other programs where you don't have to do a whole semester. You can do a little shorter than that. But they are very flexible. It's just a matter of going to that office and saying that you are interested in going abroad. They'll be more than happy to work with you. And I've had friends that have studied abroad in the Netherlands, New Zealand, Australia,
Yeah.
London, Florence, Italy, where 80% of our students will go if they do choose to go abroad. So that's a really popular spot as well. Spain, I've seen students go to Spain.
So
So,
Ireland, I have a friend from
yeah.
Ireland, Scotland, Australia. I also have a friend studying abroad for a year in South Africa. Just you really have a lot of variety and a lot of options. And like Mike said, if you go early and you ask for the help, they're there. They'll set you up. They really will. So.
And how about the Career Center and your experiences there and internships?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll start. I went in. I'm a sophomore, so typically internships you don't, on average you don't consider them until late sophomore, junior year. But I went in end of my freshman year, and the people who work in the Career Center are all fantastic. What they do is they kind of have it set up so you have a direct advisor who works with your major. Like there's an advisor who works specifically with the business school because I'm a marketing major. And so they'll really get in there and they'll help you figure out what works best for you, a reasonable path to take, how to go about applying. They'll go over your resume as well. So they're really hands-on and they've been totally helpful with me as far as looking for internships next year.
Within the Career Center, they do have members that are, they cover one school. So we do have a representative that covers the school business, criminal justice program, et cetera, et cetera. And those people are such a great resource for you to go to. And you can show them your resume. Every Tuesday and Thursday we have a walk-in resume and walk-in mock interviews as well, so you can practice interviewing. Sometimes they bring employers from the outside, other times it's representatives in the Career Center, and you can really get a good feel of what people are asking you when it comes to on your resume. What are people finding interesting? What do people want to know? And I study finance, what I said before, and I don't restrict myself to finance, and I encourage, don't think that your major is what you're stuck with. You'll meet a lot of people that have majored in one thing and now they're in a completely different field. Just because they tried an opportunity, they interviewed and they made it in. So one of the internships that I took on this summer, and I already signed for next summer, is a retail management internship with Target. And I was a little skeptical on it at first. It really didn't have much to do with finance, but I definitely wanted to give it a shot. And the Career Center helped me with practicing, getting my resume prepared. I've interviewed with other companies as well, and I use the Career Center all the time. I've also here's a good story. I interviewed with a company, and they have a very laid-back atmosphere. So the people who are working there were in jeans and t-shirts. It was a software company called Swipely in Providence, and I didn't know, because doing the research I saw that on the internet that they don't wear suits, they don't wear nice clothes to work, they just kind of wear whatever you want. So I wasn't sure if I should go in the interview in a suit and look ridiculous, or if I should kind of match up with them. So I asked the Career Center, and the Career Center actually called Swipely for me, connected with the gentleman from Talent Acquisition, and answered that question for me. So I came and was prepared. So they can really set you up for success if you do go there and you do capitalize the opportunities that they have there. But the Career Center will never come to you, and at any college, whether it's here or somewhere else, you need to go to the opportunities, and they are here for you, and they are great. So as long as you're willing to take those steps and not be shy, and don't worry, they're very nice people, and they see this stuff every day, so they're really not nothing to be intimidated with, especially at this university. They can really help you go a long way after your 4 years of college.
Okay, next question is, how many colleges did you look at before you made any applications?
Before I made any applications, I looked at, because I'm from Pennsylvania, so it's a little far away from here. So a lot of the schools that I looked at were in Pennsylvania, in the New York, New Jersey area. I probably looked at 5 or 6 local, like at some of the big ones like Penn State, some smaller ones that were more local. And then once I applied to about 8 schools, and I looked at probably 4 or 5 of them before I made my decision here. So.
That was 2010, 2011 that I was looking at schools. So to go back, looked at Bryant, Quinnipiac, Framingham State, Nichols College, Roger Williams, and Curry College. And I'm sorry, what was the question?
How many did you look at and how many did you apply to?
I know I applied to 12. Maybe I looked at I think I looked at those 6. I think that's the count. I don't even remember, but I think I definitely applied to 12. I looked at 6. I know I applied to one school in Florida because we just happened to get a storm, and I was like, I'm not living in New England anymore, so I just applied to a school in Florida. But I'm still in New England. I love New England.
Yeah, definitely. I know though that I've met students that only applied to Roger Williams and that only looked at Roger Williams and they love it here. And I've also met students who have applied to, I met one girl last year through orientation that applied to like 20 schools and looked at like 30. And I was like, that's crazy. That's a lot. But she, it really kind of mapped out everything for her, and she was very, very assured of her choice here. So I don't think there's too much, too little, as long as you're applying and looking at the schools that you feel comfortable with.
And definitely put the effort in, and definitely attend accepted students days, because you'll learn a lot about the universities and schools if you do your homework.
Yeah, absolutely.
What made you choose Roger Williams University?
To be completely honest with you, I mean, everything about Roger Williams is nice, but when I was actually looking at the schools, and I set foot on campus, it was a gorgeous day. Actually, it was about 2 years ago now. Honestly, I think it was 2 years ago, almost to the day. And I went and I saw a lacrosse game with my family, and I was a lacrosse player in high school. And just the atmosphere, it was really welcoming. The weather was gorgeous. The view was incredible. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the classes are great here. The people are the reason I stayed, but the reason I chose the school is because I love this location. I couldn't imagine going anywhere else.
I'd probably say there's 2 reasons now, but now that I've been here, I could probably add 10 more. But
Yeah.
The business school, number 1, and then more importantly, the food, number 2. But to go on with the business school is when I went to the accepted students day here, the enthusiasm of the professors, you could just tell that they were giving up a Saturday or Sunday to be here to speak to accepted students, and it was like a holiday to them. Like, my dad asked one of the professors, what are the core principles in the business school that you teach? And the guy went off. He was like, oh my, thank you for asking that question. Like, that's the best question I ever gotten. Like, he was like, thank you. He got up on the table and was like dancing around, and then he answered. I was just like, this is a class I could sit in, and this is a type of learning environment that I like. So definitely in that aspect.
That's all the questions.
Awesome. That's everything from us. Well, thank you so much for checking in with us. We're glad you kind of came to watch and ask questions, and I'm sure that if you do end up here, you'll see Mike and I around. We're always around. I'm looking forward to it. And if you have any other questions, we'll be answering them until about 8 tonight. Is that right?
Yeah.
Until 8 p.m. tonight, so be sure to ask as many questions as you can. Thanks so much, guys.